When you click the bell, you don't subscribe.
Oh, what happens?
When you click the bell, you get a notification whenever you do a video.
So should people click the bell?
Yeah, too.
And what else? Subscribe to?
And subscribe, the red button that says subscribe.
All right. Thanks. Today we're going to continue on the theme in regards to focus, in regards to really identifying the things that will help you focus on what is the most important thing in your life. And the continuation of that today starts with a story. And it's a cute little story I heard a long time ago. It was actually from one of my senseis in college. So I was in martial arts in college and earlier on, and I changed art forms. In college, I decided to take Shotokan karate, and one of my professors, or my sensei at the time, he was also the professor. He's from Japan, and he's hardcore Japanese sensei. I couldn't understand almost a word of English he was saying, but he was one of the most amazing instructors I've ever had. And the stories, if I could understand them, were also absolutely amazing. Here's one of them. I remember it because I wrote it down in my journal a while back. He said, one day, the Zen master wanted to show his students a new technique of shooting an arrow. He told the students, cover your eyes with a cloth, and then he shoots his arrow. When he opened his eyes, because he also closed his eyes, he saw the target with no arrow in it. And when he looked at the students, they looked embarrassed because their teacher had missed. So the Zen master asked, "What lesson do you think I intend to teach you all today?" And they answered, "Well, we thought you would show us how to shoot a target without looking." I always laughed at that part. And the Zen master says, no, that's not it. That would be awesome, but no. If you want to be successful in life, don't forget the target. You have to keep an eye on the target. Otherwise, you may miss a good opportunity in life. They looked at each other and they were impressed. And obviously, the moral of the story is that we need to consistently focus on what we want. And we need to realize that we have to put a lot of attention into what that requires. And that transitions into time blocking. And you've heard it in different forms, whether it's your schedule or actual time blocking or setting time apart or whatever that looks like in your world, but you've heard it. And that alone is a secret to really achieving high focus. And what it does is two things. Number one is when you're focused on one thing in particular, and here we go, and I've talked about this. I want to talk about this on the scientific side, where when you're looking at focusing on one thing because you've set time apart to do this, right? Here's the power of it, because it's exponential over time. You've blocked time to do something very specific for the day or the week on the same day, the same time, every day for, let's say, a month. What happens is your mind, right, that part of your mind that we've talked about, the RAS, the reticular activating system, says, hey, this is really important. For some reason, I keep on seeing this over and over. And I'm going to identify it as very important. And I'm going to filter out a lot of other things to make sure this goes towards the top because I keep on seeing it everywhere. Tristan keeps on taking time to really focus in on this. And I'm going to make sure that he sees this everywhere else. And so what starts happening is we start creating a habit so that our mind identifies that these are the things we need to do at a consistent basis to help us grow to where we want to go. That's what happens with our mind. It filters out all those up to 70,000 thoughts that we have. It filters out the ones that can focus on what will help us achieve this. That's for time blocking. That's number one. Number two, it starts creating a habit. It starts creating a habit in you so that you show up to actually achieve what you need to achieve, no matter how small of an action you take that day. But the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature to you. And it's twofold. Now, everyone has the same amount of time. Yet some people achieve more with their time than other people. And it comes down to that. It comes down to looking at whatever you've decided to use to time block, whether it's a digital calendar, whether it's a written calendar, whether it's sticky notes, which I hope it's not, but if it is and it works, awesome. Whatever that is, it's going to help you get to that next level. But there are different parts to this, because when we look at, let's take a look at the MREA, the $1 Million Real Estate Agent book, that red book. And there's a section towards the end when he's talking about time blocking focus, and that's Gary and Jay. They're talking about time blocking and focusing, and they're saying this. Well, there's people in general, all businesses all across the world, that treat this and everything else like a business. And that there's people, because they give every activity equal importance, all right? They treat everything with that importance, which creates busyness, not a business. And so we look to see, what are we time blocking? It's not time blocking to check your freaking email. It's time blocking, and it comes down to the things that you know you're supposed to be doing. And I'm going to itemize them because we went over them yesterday. Leads, listings, leverage, and learning. The MREA goes over 3, which says it's a triangle: leads, listings, leverage. But there's a 4th, and that's learning. That's my touch on it. Leads, listings, leverage, learning, the 4 L's. We've got a time block for this. And it can't just be, leads, calling my leads. It can't just be, you know what? Today I'm going to focus on listings. Or today I'm just going to learn. How specific is that? What are you telling your mind at that point? You've got to break it down. You can't just have, I want to make $100,000, and now looks like at 10 a.m. I'm going to make $100,000, and every day at 10 a.m. I'm going to do that. Here's where you get specific. You find the goal. You look for the strategies that you've created to achieve that. And then you break it down into actionable steps. Now, those actionable small steps is what you shift over into your calendar, whether it's digital or written, or you put it on a sticky note. It's those actions that will help you progress over the period of a year, 2 years, 3 years, and help you get to where you want to get to business-wise. And I was reading an article on Inc. magazine last week, and it was by, I don't know who it was by, but they interviewed Elon Musk. And for those of you who don't know who Elon Musk is, he's the guy that created Tesla, the electric car, and SpaceX. And they were going over how he manages to work on 2 companies at a time. And they asked him, how do you do this? Because it's difficult running 2 successful companies, right? So he said, look, I focus on different things every day. One day is primarily Tesla, Monday, Tuesday, 2 days. And then Wednesday is SpaceX. And Thursday is SpaceX. Then I go into Tesla. And then depending on where I'm at on Saturday with each company, I switch between both of them. And each day has a specific focus too on that. Operations, marketing, development, different days for different things. But it's the focus. You see, he's broken it down. And that's what I think we're missing when it comes to our life and when it comes to your business. You haven't taken it to that next level. How does that look in your world when you're focusing on whatever you're focusing on? Have you taken the time to break it down to the smallest level? What actions are you taking on a daily basis? Because we go back to that Zen master where he's telling his students, hey, you know what? Close your eyes, shoot the arrow. But hold up, you need to have a target. How often do you think they're training specifically on the process of shooting that arrow, looking at the target, understanding the depth of it and the wind, and holding the bow? There's a lot that goes into our business, but we don't take the time to strategize on how we're going to approach it and how we're going to achieve our goals. So today and this week, I want to challenge you to really look at your life and your business and ask yourself, am I truly taking the time necessary to take my business to that level that I want to go to? Or am I just kind of waking up and taking it as it comes? Am I purposeful with the things that I'm doing for my business? Now, if we want to talk about real estate specifically, leads, listings, leverage, learning. You need to break that down into actionable steps on what that looks like to you and put those in your daily schedule every day, every week, so that these small actions help you achieve what you want to do. Thanks for joining in. That was one of my morning calls for my businesses. Do me a favor, please click on that little bell so you subscribe and you get an email every time I create a new video. Have an amazing day.
When you click the bell, you don't subscribe.
Oh, what happens?
When you click the bell, you get a notification whenever you do a video.
So should people click the bell?
Yeah, too.
And what else? Subscribe to?
And subscribe, the red button that says subscribe.
All right. Thanks.